All right, everybody, welcome back for a new week in our Teaching and Learning with Digital Technology class. This week, well, it's obviously April 4th through the 9th, and we're moving from designing with technologies, where students design things, to experimenting with technologies. And so the focus this week, of course, is allowing students to have that experimenting experience. Now remember that designing and experimenting are not necessarily mutually exclusive. You can do a lot of designing with experimenting. You can do a lot of experimenting with designing. So anyway, you'll read about this in Chapter 3 in the book. You'll have a presentation that you'll watch on experimenting with technologies and what that's all about. And then you'll do another technology exploration. Now this one gets you a little bit more involved in some of the tools for communication, collaboration, and experimentation. And so next week is on communication and collaboration, which we'll talk about more. But this week is the week to explore some of those things. And there are very few actual tools for student experimentation on the class wiki, as you'll see at the link there. So you can do communication and collaboration or experimentation in your It's My Creation technology exploration this week. And so some of these might overlap with some of the things you've looked at before, but make sure you choose new ones to explore as you experiment and look for communication technologies as well. And then you'll, of course, post on those, as we did last week. You'll post on your experiences, share an example of what you've created, and then have a discussion about it. So it's another week for technology exploration, but be aware that next week we are having a Communication with Technologies week, but that amazing authentic learning project is due. And so again, that's another project plan or another project idea that you're going to present to me using some online tool, the way that you did the last one as well. And this can also be done as part of a group of up to 3, or it can be done individually. And so make sure you take a look at that amazing authentic learning project and know that that's also coming up soon. So just a little bit more on experimenting as well. It's not just about science. So when we talk about experimenting and communicating with technology, maybe we're thinking about, oh, well, that's for language arts teachers, or for communication anyway, or speech teachers. And experimentation, well, that's just science, right? Watch out, I'm going to try science. But no, it's not just about those kinds of things. Experimentation can be experimenting with different sentence structures. It can be experimenting with all kinds of different things. As you read about in the Meaningful Learning Framework, you read about this whole concept of manipulating and observing results in active learning. And you learn also about constructive learning, where there's puzzlement and trying to figure out and articulate what actually happened. So these are parts of experimenting, and those can happen in any subject matter, in almost any type of situation. So you'll have to be creative as you think about how experimentation would fit with your subject matter and for your students. But it's not just in science, and it's not just necessarily in language arts for communicating and so forth. There's a lot of places where students should be learning to communicate and to have that experimental attitude or point of view. Another thing to think about is be sure to post your projects to the Padlet page. So if you have not yet posted your astonishing cooperative writing project to the Padlet page, please do so. And that's at this location here, padlet.com/gfrankum/ELRN750. And we have several of them posted here too. So take a look at the ones that have been posted. I find that it's often instructive for people to see what other people have posted. And we have a couple, for instance, we have Aaron and Kristen, who are both language arts teachers in middle school. And we have different educators on different levels who might have some overlap with what they teach. And so it's kind of interesting to see what each one is able to share and present. And in some ways, I kind of wish we had a much larger class, because then we could share all kinds of things in different areas and different subjects. So be sure to post your work on that board, and have a great week.